if she hasn't had the children herself, or Harry hadn't been involved, then they can't be in the royal line. You know, they have to have royal blood, those little ones, and believe that it's she could do anything so disgusting. It really is. The thing is, I wonder if she'd asked anyone about this, and if they said to her, "Oh my goodness."
Prince Archie in the UK, and I covered that story at the time, remember? And I was the one calling out all of the discrepancies in the way.
Could Harry's secrets get any worse? Oh, honey, Angela Levin sure thinks so. And guess what? She just proved it live on air. Yep, right there in front of millions. Now everyone's asking, what else is Harry hiding? And let's be real, this isn't just a bit of royal gossip anymore. Oh no, this is a scandal unfolding in real time, and the whole world is watching.
Things so unstable, isn't it, at the moment? And you don't want things to happen that you will regret.
Big time. And of course the mainstream media, certainly Radar Online, starting to pick up on the surrogacy scandal now after
it started out as just another cheerful morning show, you know the kind. Bright studio lights, perfectly polished anchors, the usual royal chatter that's all smiles and fluff. But the second Angela Levin sat down, boom, the mood shifted. Instantly. You could almost feel it through the screen. Because everyone knew, when Angela's in the chair, the truth bombs are coming.
Outlets like this. Angela, just finally, I wanted to show you Justine Bateman. She is the Family Ties actress who really has...
And she didn't disappoint. Levin, infamous for her razor-sharp tongue and absolutely zero tolerance for royal PR spin, leaned forward, locked eyes with the camera, and dropped a revelation so explosive the entire studio went dead silent. You could practically hear the collective gasp.
Turning on Harry and Meghan. She's the one that really branded them disaster tourists, and it took hold all across the media.
And what did she say? Oh, buckle up, because this one stunned millions. Angela Levin claimed, live, unedited, no hesitation, that Prince Harry was secretly filing a lawsuit. And not just any lawsuit, darling. This one was aimed at silencing people from revealing the uncomfortable truths about his past. I mean, what? Royal secrets, lawsuits, and hush orders? This wasn't tea anymore. This was lava.
Is because you know that these days, and we've been discussing it lots at the moment, it's impossible to trust the mainstream media or the so-called fact-checkers who claim...
Now, sure, the royal family has dealt with gossip for centuries. Affairs, drama, feuds, fashion disasters, been there, worn the crown. But what Angela unleashed? Oh, this was something else. She didn't just stir the pot, she cracked it wide open and poured the whole thing over Buckingham Palace. Because this revelation didn't just touch the surface, it went straight for the core of Harry's world, his legitimacy. Angela didn't tiptoe, she didn't sugarcoat. She flat out asked, why didn't Harry and Meghan follow royal birth protocols for Archie and Lilibet? And if you know anything about the monarchy, you know, protocols aren't just tradition, they're sacred. They hold centuries of succession together. You break those and you're not just bending rules, you're shaking the throne itself. She reminded everyone, royal births must be transparent. Public details aren't optional. They're the proof that ensures the line of succession is legitimate. Suddenly, what once looked like a private family choice turned into something public, constitutional, and dangerously explosive. People weren't just shocked, they were unsettled. Where were the hospital announcements? The medical bulletins? The official photos? Those weren't tiny oversights. They were red sirens flashing in the royal fog. Angela's delivery was calm, precise, almost gentle, but every word hit like a dagger. By the time she was done, the audience wasn't just thinking about Harry's alleged lawsuit anymore. They were questioning him as a father, as a royal, and as a man who'd once stood for honesty.
So, and we know that the only living witness to Archie's birth is Prince Harry.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't just another PR stumble. This was a full-on credibility crisis. Within hours, social media erupted. Hashtags were trending, late-night hosts were writing jokes before lunch, and even the loyal royal fans were whispering, what if Angela's right? Harry's polished image, carefully built over years, suddenly looked paper-thin. Because when questions of legitimacy enter the public sphere, it's no longer about bad press. It's about trust. It's about the crown. And once that's shaken, there's no easy fix. Sussex. Harry wasn't just fighting rumors now, he was fighting perception. And perception, darling, is the one war no royal ever truly wins. Angela didn't just accuse him of hiding something, she proved he'd left a trail. She pointed out the glaring gaps everyone had somehow ignored, the missing documentation, the altered timelines, the inconsistencies that just didn't add up, the silence from the Sussex camp. Oh, that made it 10 times worse. Every quiet minute felt like an admission.
And that
Nope,
Dr.
it was all
Penelope
kept a
Ball-
secret, and we were told that she had gone into labor when in fact the baby...
No hospital steps photos, no signed notes from doctors, no official bulletins, nada. For generations, every royal birth had been meticulously documented. Cameras flashing, details public, everything transparent, and then suddenly, nothing. Harry and Meghan had skipped every single step. The timelines didn't match, the photos looked off, and even seasoned royal reporters were whispering, "Wait a second." Angela didn't have to say much. She simply let the evidence, or lack of it, speak for itself. The internet did the rest. Theories poured in, some crazy, some chillingly logical, but they all pointed to one thing: something wasn't right. Why had the Sussexes ignored every royal norm? Why all the secrecy? Angela didn't accuse. She invited the public to wonder, and oh boy, did they wonder.
Yeah, Amazon delivers too, you know. So, it's the first time in the history of the monarchy.
For the public, this wasn't just about babies or births, it was about credibility. The royals are supposed to represent honor, stability, and trust. And when that foundation cracks, the whole illusion starts to crumble. Angela didn't scream or sensationalize. She stayed composed, which somehow made everything worse for Harry. Her calm voice made those gaps feel enormous. You could almost feel the nation holding its breath. Comments exploded online. Where's the proof? Why hide something so simple? Some fans defended him, but most just asked one haunting question. Why? Why break a tradition older than the crown itself? And by the end of her segment, the narrative had changed forever. This wasn't a royal update, it was a royal reckoning.
Breakfast TV shows in New York at 8 a.m. Answer: no. The announcement was timed to suit the Duke and Duchess after their friends and family had been.
By the time Angela wrapped up, Harry's world was already spinning. That morning show had turned into a courtroom of public opinion, and he was losing badly. The missing proof wasn't just a detail anymore, it was a symbol. If the truth about something as basic as a birth could be hidden, what else might be buried? And when the cameras turned off, Harry's reaction was explosive. Instead of releasing calm statements or clear explanations, he did the one thing guaranteed to backfire. He lost his temper. Within hours, his legal team was scrambling. Cease and desist letters were flying out like confetti. Anyone who repeated Angela's claims, threatened, anyone who discussed her revelation, warned it was chaos.
Speak directly to news organizations on the phone. Answer: we were advised there were technical issues with the announcement. We have a...
But here's where it got wild. Instead of calming the storm, Harry's fury poured gasoline all over it. The public saw a prince unraveling, angry, panicked, defensive. Social media turned savage. Memes flooded timelines. One showed Harry fuming with the caption, "When you hide the truth and the internet finds it anyway." Even insiders whispered that aides were panicking, lawyers drafting threats, PR teams spinning impossible statements, and Harry reportedly pacing, ranting, losing it. He wasn't the calm ex-royal doing interviews about compassion anymore. He looked like a man trapped in his own PR nightmare. And once that image set in, there was no undoing it. Every move he made, every angry letter sent, made him look more desperate. Angela hadn't just told a story, she'd set a trap, and Harry had walked right into it.
Answer: we would only ever confirm the birth following an official announcement. Instagram was also not how the birth was announced. It was done via an official announcement. Question:
And then came the avalanche. Clips of Angela's broadcast were everywhere, spliced together with screenshots of Harry's furious legal letters. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, it was all Harry versus Angela. Fans argued, critics mocked, and the general consensus? Harry was losing it. The irony was brutal. The man who once represented calm dignity was now portrayed as paranoid and reactive. Angela's calm smile during the broadcast became iconic. Memes compared her to a chess master, while Harry looked like a pawn, flailing, cornered and outplayed. By now, this wasn't just a royal story, it was a global spectacle. By the end of the day, Harry wasn't fighting a rumor anymore. He was fighting himself. His fury had become entertainment, and while he burned publicly, Meghan was nowhere to be seen. Usually the mastermind behind their media moves, Meghan had suddenly vanished. No posts, no statements, just silence. And that silence, it was loud. Sources whispered she was strategizing behind the scenes, leaving Harry to spiral alone. It was like watching the power couple's dynamic disintegrate on live TV. The man once hailed as the modern prince now looked like a man left twisting in the wind, while his wife stayed silent in the shadows. Her silence spoke louder than any statement Meghan could have made. It wasn't just quiet, it was intentional. Some insiders whispered that it felt calculated, like she'd pulled the ultimate PR power move. Disappear, let Harry take the heat, and re-emerge spotless. And oh, the public noticed. Within hours, #Where'sMeghan was trending. Social media was merciless. Memes of Harry flailing midair with captions like, "When your co-pilot ejects mid-flight," flooded timelines. It was equal parts tragic and hilarious. Royal watchers began drawing their own conclusions. Maybe Meghan wasn't running from the scandal, maybe she was orchestrating it from the shadows. It wasn't cowardice, it was control. Because while Harry melted down in full view of the world, Meghan was keeping her hands clean. She'd built her brand on poise and precision, and right now, letting Harry flail was the most strategic silence she could have chosen. But it came at a cost. The public's image of them shifted. Harry was no longer the strong, compassionate prince. He was the frantic husband caught in a media inferno, and Meghan, she became the phantom queen, always there, never visible, yet pulling every string. By the time the media caught up, the story had morphed into something wild. Harry's unraveling, Meghan's watching, that's how the headlines read, and honestly, they weren't wrong. The once unbreakable Sussex brand suddenly looked fractured, unstable, and unpredictable. Her vanishing act wasn't just quiet, it was theatrical. You could feel the strategy in it. Meanwhile, the chaos Angela Levin had ignited kept growing. Every network replayed her clip, every pundit dissected every word, and while Harry was lawyering up, Angela was sitting calm as ever, cool, collected, and untouchable. She hadn't broken any laws, she hadn't leaked classified files, she'd just asked questions. And those questions were doing all the damage for her. Legal analysts online started praising her brilliance. One even tweeted, "If Harry sues her, those documents go public. It's game over." And they were right. Levin had turned the legal system into her shield. If Harry tried to silence her, he'd expose himself. It was like watching a chess match where one player didn't even realize he'd already lost. Levin stood there, composed, confident, almost smug, while Harry's every move looked more desperate. Inside the Sussex household, panic was reportedly setting in fast. Lawyers were drafting letters like wildfire, unsure whom to threaten first. PR teams were rewriting statements every hour, trying to spin Harry's fury into reasonable concern. Sources described her rage as volcanic. One insider even said she threw her phone across the room, screaming that Angela Levin had to be destroyed. People close to her were stunned. This wasn't the composed duchess they were used to. This was a woman on the edge. But the damage was already done. Angela's comments had ignited something that couldn't be contained. The royal household was reportedly in shock, scrambling to assess the fallout. Harry's legal team, meanwhile, warned Meghan that suing Angela would only make things worse, that she'd walk straight into a courtroom trap, because any lawsuit could open the door to questions no royal wanted asked. Hospital records, timelines, documentation, everything Angela had cleverly highlighted. It was brilliant, and it was deadly. And oh, the internet feasted. She'd done what no one else had managed. She'd turned their own silence into suspicion and their reactions into confirmation. And now, Harry was trapped. Behind palace doors, insiders whispered that he was preparing one last desperate move. A massive lawsuit, the biggest yet. He thought it would silence the chaos once and for all. But legal experts laughed. If he files, one said, discovery will destroy him. Because discovery meant evidence. And evidence meant everything he was hiding, every inconsistency, every missing record, could finally be dragged into daylight. The irony was vicious. In trying to bury the truth, he risked exposing it to the entire world. Angela, of course, stayed 3 steps ahead. Composed, sophisticated, and dangerously self-assured, she ended her latest broadcast with just 5 chilling words. "This is only the beginning." And oh, the world felt it. It wasn't a threat, it was a promise. There was more to come, much more. And for Harry, it meant sleepless nights, frantic lawyers, and a world waiting with bated breath. Angela had turned a single morning broadcast into a multi-episode royal disaster. The palace couldn't contain it. The Sussex team couldn't bury it. The storm wasn't on its way. It was already here. And as Angela's words echoed across airwaves and timelines, one thing became brutally, beautifully clear. The crown doesn't protect you from the truth, and no amount of royal rage could change that.